Hello everybody, this is September, and I am checking in from the PTS server, and in this video we're going to talk about two things. The July update, which is coming to the North America EU regions on July 5th, and we're also going to take a look at the RNG crate Flutterdance. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the July update. There's really three things that I think is important to point out for the update. There's a ton of them, and I'll post a link to the patch notes in the video description if you have not yet read them. But there's three main things, and the first one being there is a bug fix which is going to allow the player nations to participate in the Aegis Island Rift. Previously, they're being attacked by the NPCs, which makes it impossible for them to do that. That's a pretty big deal for all those folks that are in player nations, and I hope that in fact it is fixed for you guys, because that's really unfortunate that you guys couldn't participate in it. Unfortunately, I'm on the PTS, so I can't really help you test that, but I hope that it's fixed for you guys. The second thing is about the upcoming events. July actually has two events scheduled this month. And the first one is called Happy Family, which is going to start running July 5th, and it will run until July 19th. Those events are not active on PTS, so the best thing I can do is tell you what I see, and it looks like this is going to be a family-based event, which will give you additional vocation and ultimately a new title. The next event is the return of Rum Runner Rapids, and this is one of the most popular events in Archeage history. It will be starting July 19th, and it will run through August 2nd. This year, the big prize from the Rum Runner event is the merchant costume. This was the costume that was supposed to be available from the prestige boxes, and anybody that had spent prestige had spent 400 prestige trying to open those boxes to get the costume, have a compensation package available on the website where you can get the costume straight away. Everybody else will have to do the Rum Runner event, and you'll just need 50 coins, which is pretty easy to get. The merchant costume is very, very nice. It will decrease your production time by 5%. It will increase all your crafting and all those proficiencies by 10k, and it also gives you a small speed boost. I think it's 3%. This is an item that fits into the costume slot or the wardrobe slot, which means it can be used in conjunction with Dawn's drop gear. So it's a great item to have for alts, absolutely, for sure. I will be getting them on my EU characters, absolutely. And this year it should be particularly easy to get these items, because with the new event there is also now achievements, and those achievements will award you additional Rum Runner coins simply by doing the Rum Runner event. And the good thing about it is these achievements are actually retroactive. So if you've done the event last year, you will find that when you log in on the July update, you'll automatically get some coins based off of the achievements you have already completed. The last thing about the July update is there's going to be a change to the way the royal seeds are acquired. This is the biggest or the most pointed to bottleneck for those that do trade packs, and the royal seed is required to make the larders, which are required to trigger the cargo packs, and right now they're addressing the royal seed. So the first and most notable thing is that along with the other rare fauna type drops, they are going to be available for vocation. Royal seeds and scented leaves are going to be costing you 800 vocation each, while the heavy hardwood will be 1,000 vocation. Additionally, they have noted that they increased the drop rate of royal seeds from single harvesting. We didn't know what the rates were before, so whatever increase they did, we're just going to have to take their word for it. But I can tell you this, my test on the PTS with 115K proficiency has yielded exactly one royal seed per 50 single plants that I harvested. Now, I've seen some other people post on the forums, they're seeing the exact same drop rate. I don't know if that's better or worse or the same, but 1 out of 50 seems to me from my past experience that that is a better drop rate than what I've observed in the past. The other thing to point out is that the drop rate on the royal seeds is supposed to increase with higher proficiency. All right, so let's really kind of dive into these royal seeds and let's talk about them. The royal seeds, based off of my calculations and the discussions that I've had with some of the people that have been following me or joining my chat on Twitch, we felt like the royal seeds were going to actually drop down to about 3 to 4 gold on pretty much every auction house cluster. And the way we kind of determined that is we just took the current value of vocation and said, okay, 800 vocation, that means it's going to be worth anywhere from about 3 to maybe 4 gold. And the thing about these seeds is I said it in Twitch. I wasn't really going to talk about them because I know a lot of people are out there currently right now trying to make their money doing wild harvesting, which I did a video on just recently, or they're just people that can tolerate the pain of single planting, and that is their primary source or a main source of income. So surely these impending changes to the availability of the seeds should have already tanked the value of the royal seeds, right? Well, not really. Sure enough, the value has gone down, but not to the degree in which I would have thought it would have. It seems that the current demand is much higher than even this information can currently change. So I'm going to talk about it, or I have talked about it. By the way, this information was actually posted on the PTS forums on Friday, and both Muzzy and Celestrata have been pretty adamant on saying, hey, look, this is what's going to happen. Here's the change. And while the values have went down ever so slightly, like from 9.5 gold to closer to 8.75 gold, the value hasn't really changed. So I felt like I might as well tell you about it. You know, there you go. I will say this. My best advice that I can give you about the royal seeds is just try to sell them before July 5th if you're not going to use them. Okay, so moving on to the Flutterdance RNG boxes. As you can see here in my bag, I've got 300 of these boxes, and I need to point out that I am on the PTS. I felt it's important to say that because I don't want the comments of like, oh my God, look at all the gold he's got, or oh my God, you must be a super swiper. Nope. I'm on the PTS, and I attain these boxes by trading my gold for credits here on this server. So let's go ahead and get into opening these boxes up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and crack these boxes open, and you can watch it in the background, but I'm going to go ahead and speed this video up so you guys don't have to watch the painfully slow opening of all these boxes. Okay, so that was 300 of the Flutterdance RNG boxes, which is exactly 135,000 credits. And if you really wanted to know the translation to real life money, the best way to get that many credits would cost you about $480, and that would be by buying 12 of the daily credit packages at $39 each. That would, of course, also yield you 4 of the golden tickets or the golden tokens, which you could use to buy more stuff. Otherwise, if you were to just straight up buy the credits off of Try On World's website, you would have to buy the biggest credit package, and you would need almost 7 of those, which would cost you around $700. Okay, so let's take a look at the loot. It is actually changed from the other RNG boxes. A lot of the same stuff, like the Morn Stones and the Tier 3 Luna Gems, but what is new is these new distorted and indomitable Luna Frost. I've got one of every one except for the hostility ones, the indomitable hostility and the distorted hostility. Those two Luna Frost were absent in the 300 that I opened, and those are also the most expensive ones, which is really odd. Also notable stuff is the Aurorian storage chest, the pirate plushie troves, and of course the Cynthium. If you're working on costumes or underwear, those are nice bonuses. Additionally, the wrapped serendipity stones, also the snowflakes, and the big professional tonics. If you're level 50 plus, you can get double the XP for burning labor while under the effect of the potion. And of course, the fine fire and fine wave lunarites were dropping about, on average, I opened 300 and I got close to 300 of each. So about 1 per crate on average. And again, it's about the same thing with the Superior Fire and the Superior Wave Lunarites. Fluff items were basically the eco-friendly fuel, which if you're a trade runner, you'll use those up. The Companion Crust, Expansion Scrolls, also the Vocation Drills and the Vocation Trees, which were removed from Vocation. So yeah, so those were dropping in the box. And the robe is the Flutterdance robe. Open 300 boxes, got 3, so about a 1 out of 100 drop rate. I also needed to edit this part in. One of the new things, or the return of the Crest Trade Storage Pack, those are for the boats. You can put them in your cannon slots, or if you've got a merchant, you can put them in there. These are the best in slots storage packs that you could have. They're the lightest, so therefore they are the best. Also, I didn't mention it, but there is no superior red, no superior yellow. In fact, there is absolutely no charms dropping out of these boxes whatsoever. That's a new thing. Almost all the RNG boxes in the past have had at least a chance for the superior red or superior yellow, depending on what server you're on. So the fact that they're not there or any charms at all is something to take note of. Well, that's about it for this video. Thank you guys for hanging out and watching this one. Please remember to like and subscribe. I think we covered about everything coming up in the July update, or the most important stuff. Again, a link to the official patch notes will be, or the PTS patch notes will be posted in the description down below. I hope you have found this video both helpful and informative. You can support this channel by following me on Twitch and Twitter, as well as financially by becoming a Patreon. Until next time, September saying, be well.